loans, increase of limit order 2024.
I call the Minister to move the motion.
Thank you, Ms Vaz. It's a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship today, where I bring forward this order, the Local Loans Increase of Limit Order 2024 for parliamentary approval. This order increases the aggregate limit on local loans through His Majesty's Treasury's Public Works Loans Board lending facility from the current level of 115 billion to 135 billion. As specified by the powers within the Public Works Loan Act of 1875 and the National Loans Act of 1968, these are loans to any local authority for any purpose for which the authority has the power to borrow. In accordance with the powers in the 1968 Act, His Majesty's Treasury can increase the aggregate limit on outstanding loan debts through statutory instrument up to the maximum limit specified in the Act, which is currently set at 135 billion. As of March 2024, the Public Works Loans Board stock of loans stood at 103.7 billion and is expected to increase further, broadly in line with forecasts for overall local authority borrowing. The Government is therefore bringing forward this statutory instrument to ensure that local authorities are able to continue to access lending from the Public Works Loan Board to support their capital investment plans and treasury management. The Government recognises the valuable contribution that local authorities make to the social and economic infrastructure of this country and is committed to supporting local investment through the Public Works Loan Board. His Majesty's Treasury will continue to work with the Ministry of Housing, Communities and Local Government to ensure that local authorities are borrowing in a prudent manner and not for speculative for-profit investment, which is now prohibited through our Public Works Loan Board lending guidance. I stand ready to answer any questions from the committee and look forward to receiving the committee's support for this legislation.
The question is that the committee has considered the draft Local Loans Increase of Limit Order 2024. Opposition spokesperson Mark Garnier.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you for that resounding cheer. I have to say, it's very exciting for me to be able to start my new job as a Shadow Treasury Minister on something so utterly uncontroversial. It is fantastic. Look, obviously, we are going to support this. There's no question about that whatsoever. I think there are a couple of points that I might make, if I may. I mean, the first is that it's interesting to see that we've seen the Public Works Lending Board amount has now, on a year-by-year basis, now gone up to pre-pandemic levels. And it's just interesting to see that we've come back up sort of quite quickly. It's also worth bearing in mind that's kind of around the times when the new rules were introduced about prudence. And I think it'll be interesting to see if there's any explanation as to why that's happened now, which it could be perfectly harmless, but it would just be, I think, in terms of monitoring this is quite important. I think, if I may, I've probably got three principal questions which I'd like to ask. Is the Minister absolutely mentioned the rules that were brought in. Can the Government confirm that they will remain committed to these new rules? I think it's very important. They were there in order to avoid speculative investment, and obviously what we want to see is this money properly being used to benefit local communities, albeit at a commercial rate of return. But it is important to make sure that we don't see speculation coming into this. So if you can confirm that, I'd be very grateful. Can the Government also confirm that they intend to monitor how councils are borrowing closely? This is more important in order to make sure that, some very well-meaning district councillors may make some slightly unwise decisions. And what metrics would the Government be using in order to make sure that local authorities are borrowing prudently for the purpose of the rules, just so we can understand exactly how this is being monitored. And then finally, what steps are being taken to manage debts effectively, ensuring that they don't hinder future potential borrowing requirements or place tight strain on local authorities who may or may not be struggling with tight budgets for one reason or another. But look, as I say, Mrs. Vaz, we're very keen to support this. It's a perfectly reasonable thing. I think it's very important that we do support all our local authorities. Some of them are incredibly innovative, and a lot of this money is used to support local communities, as I say, at a rate of return which is a commercial rate of return. So we see nothing wrong with this, but I'd be very grateful if the Minister could help me with those questions. It looks like we're going to be finished, possibly within 5 minutes. Thank you very much.
Lib Dem spokesperson Daisy Cooper.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As others have said, this is an uncontentious piece of legislation, and I'm very happy to support it. I thought it might be a good opportunity to highlight the difference that some of these loans do make to people's lives. In my local area of St Albans, the District Council has used Public Works Loan Board borrowing to help fund a range of really ambitious projects in our local area. This has included investment in social housing, such as the King Offer and the Hedges sites, decarbonisation and improving energy efficiencies of council homes, investment in vehicles and equipment used for recycling, street cleaning and waste collection, which has helped our district council to achieve one of the highest recycling rates in the country, and investment in a regeneration project in the heart of the city, which is providing social, rented and shared ownership homes along with commercial space to rent. Simply put, the Liberal Democrat administration at St Albans District Council is really ambitious for our area, but they could not have achieved so much or do the scale of the works that they are doing to make homes warmer and cost less to heat this winter without access to this productive borrowing facility. So we very much hope that future applications from ours and other councils will make just as much a difference to people's lives. So we're very pleased to support this measure today. Minister.
Thank you, Ms Vaz. I'm grateful to honourable members for sharing their feedback on the statutory instrument and asking a number of questions today. In terms of the rate of lending, it's broadly in line with market expectations, and I think post-pandemic it reflects that activities now getting back to normal after the pandemic years when, of course, they were able to do fewer things. The guidance on speculative investment and commercial lending we are committed to, and that will remain in place. As a Treasury, we have general oversight of the Public Works Loan Board and the guidance and the monitoring in which these loans are being taken out across the country. Of course, it's for local authorities as in their own institutional capacity through their own committees and audit functions to look at the reasons for borrowing locally and how that capital is being used well on the ground. But the Treasury does have powers to intervene for particular loans and particular councils if concerns were ever to be raised with us. And of course, housing is a really important part of lending from the Public Works Loan Board, which is why we've extended the housing revenue account discount rate on lending for a further year into financial year 25-26.
No. The question is that the committee has considered the draft local loans increase of limit order 2024. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary, no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. Order. Order.